Large American universities are facing an epidemic which targets vulnerable students. According to a report by the National Bureau of Economic Research, football games cause 253 to 770 additional rapes per year across the 128 schools participating in Division 1A. Amongst 17 to 24-year-olds, home games increase reports by 41% and away games increase reports by 15%. What causes this dramatic rise in sexual assault? All signs point to alcohol. As surveyed by the Washington Post, 77% of students agree that reducing drinking would be very effective or somewhat effective in preventing sexual assault on their campus. As a former jailer and police officer for the Montgomery County Police Department, Billy Dawson, 48, has dealt with many instances related to violence at football games.
Rioting is a sign of ignorance, and usually ignorance comes with bad judgment calls. Someone that's drank too much, not making the right decisions.
Even though sexual assault can be done by a woman, I feel like when men gather together and alcohol is involved, they become more alpha male, and they just create this environment of being rowdy and trying to one-up each other, and that eventually leads to bad behavior, which includes sexual assault.
After witnessing several fights at college football games in El Paso, her hometown, Gonzalez believes the sport promotes an environment of violence. When it comes to responsibility, Dawson throws the blame to the athletic departments.
For the athletes to set a better example to the people that are looking up to them.
Members of the NFL are constantly making headlines for DUIs, domestic violence, and using drugs. This sends a message to America.
Well, I think the kind of message it sends really depends on what type of punishment they receive, which is usually nothing. And it just sends the message that people are going to do what they do, boys will be boys, and they're going to get away with it.
As a nurse for the past 26 years, Audra Verinder has treated many victims of violence. She deems members of the NFL as bad role models.
I think they used to be. I think every now and then some of them are, but I think a lot of them now are not, because I think a lot of them now want to look at the rappers and stuff like that, and they use them as their role models, so they role model after them.
Elise Anderson, 22-year-old psychology senior, believes safety can be increased by implementing a bus system to take attendees home. Although Texas State University has several shuttle routes, none currently exist to take students specifically from football games back to campus at night.
You just give them a ride back to the dorm so they're not having to walk that far in the dark. Most people walk in groups with their friends and stuff, but sometimes they don't.
I think if we had more accessible modes of public transportation, that would be awesome. I mean, even if the school maybe did a don't drink and drive type program where they had sober drivers, that would be helpful.